If you're watching this, you're watching the replay. Hey everyone, welcome to Friday Night Live at 4:05. I'm Tori Humphreys, a professional life coach here to help creatives move from abstract ideas to concrete realities. Today, our focus will be on creating for yourself. So when we receive feedback from others regarding our creative projects, we can be tempted to morph our creativity into the mold of what other people who are willing to listen to us want. It's natural to want to be accepted by others, but if we find ourselves trying to create what other people want rather than what we want, our works can become less creative and more carbon copied. Just last week, I was chatting with a client of mine who finds himself fighting between creating content that's generated by his own excitement and the top searches of what his ideal client are looking for. This is a typical struggle for any creative who puts their work out, or even creatives who want to put their work out there. One thing that my client pointed out that the popular directors that he aspires to be like, they stumbled upon their success. And in other words, it means that they probably couldn't determine which videos they shared would receive a huge following. Yes, you can be strategic with your content creation, but there's no definitive way to know how others are going to receive what you put out until after it's already out there. And so I want to make this point. Any feedback, whether uplifting or not, can tempt us to shift our perspective on our creative purposes. Just because we know what our audience wants doesn't mean that we should lose sight of what we want. My business coach instructed me to create content based on what I enjoy writing about and share that with others. And so that way my passions will keep me fueled for what I'm doing. I can't rely on the desires of other people to keep me going, especially when over time my audience is bound to change. Trying to adapt our purpose to the passions of others can lead to frustration, burnout, or boredom. At worst, it may lead us to losing ourselves. I encourage you to go back and think about where your creative journey began, the motivations and inspirations that sparked a creative hope inside of you. As kids, we appreciated the process more than the result. But somewhere along the way, we received praise for the end of something and not the measures it took to get there. Few people are curious about the circumstances and resources it takes to make something beautiful. In other words, people want the sausage, but they don't want to know how it's being made. More often than not, people praise the product over the process. With creativity, if we focus too much on trying to make something happen a certain way, it may feel like we're trying to accomplish an impossible goal. It's about trusting our intuition rather than overthinking it. Free yourself of the idea that things have to be a certain way. This thought forces us to think only one way, which may inhibit the creativity we are in fact looking for. So why do you love singing, acting, or filming? Is it to reach the end of the song or performance? Or is it because you like the act of what you're doing? So, Tori, I hear you saying all of these things, but how do I create for myself? So I'm going to give you guys 5 things that I have found that have been helpful for creating for myself. Number 1, it's going back to why you love creating in the first place. Let this be your guide. These are where most of your motivations and inspirations are going to come from, your passion. Number 2, notice if and when, number 1, change to a different purpose. For instance, say, originally I loved creating because it made me feel good, but maybe it's shifted to, well, now I create because it makes other people feel good and I get good feedback from them. So observe when that shift takes place and what caused it. Number 3, create focus times for creating freely without boundaries. When we have certain deadlines for things, it can be more difficult to just find time where we can just enjoy creating and giving ourselves the freedom to do that. Like a kid, without an agenda. And just remember what that feels like, allowing yourself to feel the freedom of that. Number 4, decide what you believe about your work and why before others have an opinion on it. And that includes other people in your head. So just really try and think about what your work is like, what you think about your work and why before other people comment on it. And lastly, number 5, when you get feedback from others, use a net. When you make your work public, keep what's helpful for you and get rid of what's draining for you. Hurtful feedback can be easier to believe when it's based in our own insecurities that we've had for a while. On the other hand, we may only expect to receive feedback that makes us feel good when we, in fact, could benefit from some constructive feedback. If you're unsure about this, having other people around you to give you, to guide you on what's helpful and what's not. A good, supportive, healthy community can help with that as well. So at the end of the day, creating out of your inspiration and your purpose will be more fulfilling and fruitful than attempting to ride and tame the beast of the algorithm. So that's all that I have for us today. Thanks for watching Friday Night Live at 4:05 with Tori Humphries. If you're ready to step into your dreams but need additional help, let's create a plan together to make your dreams a reality. Just message or email me to set up a time to talk. And remember, your worth isn't measured by likes, comments, or Zelle payments. Your value is immeasurable regardless of what lies ahead of you. Thanks. See you guys next time. Bye.